Hi and welcome or welcome back. As I was cleaning up my desk, I decided to do just a little bit of an exit reading here, and it ended up being something that I thought I may as well share with you guys. So I laid out some of my sacred geometry deck, all decks listed below if you need the mouthful names. That deck is the code card deck. So from the code card, I've got three separate shuffles. I have a card with three descriptions, and then down a level, then three description cards, then a third layer, and down three cards. So all in all, we've got 12 of the code cards. And then I went through with the the Return to Spirit deck, and we did a clarifier on each of those. And then as I was going through, I was like, I'm going to use this Art of War Tao Te Ching deck for an oracle. And I just went through it, sat it down, and then as I went to start the camera, the one on top is actually the one that we're going to take. So, communication. It looks like somebody here has a message to give or to receive, which is sort of part of the preceding message about being able to be heard, being able to feel listened to and understood. There's the element of portraying something fully and being fully understood, and and so yeah, understanding, comprehension is the word coming to mind. So let's start out with the Art of War card here. It says communicate effectively. It's very easy to think that somebody understands what you're trying to say just because you do. In all interactions, in person, on the phone, via text, or email, ensure that what you're saying is clear, distinct, and understood. Give examples, think clearly about your words, and ask them what they think that you've said to avoid errors in communication. And the backside of this says, if words of command are not clear and distinct, if the orders are not thoroughly understood, then the general is to blame. But if his orders are clear and the soldiers disobey, then it is the fault of their officers. So it looks like potentially either as the head of a family, head of a house, head of an organization, an individual's communication style is coming into the reading, as well as potentially your ability to communicate effectively with that individual or to become somebody who can be understood, who reaches other individuals. And so if you're coming across with a little bit too much or too little in some type of a way, people can create judgments, and they're going to do that anyways. But it may be important in some situation when you have a message that you're particularly needing to deliver, to make sure that that individual is in the right mindset and mood to be able to listen, that you have their full attention, that there are no distractions. Like, I wouldn't have an important conversation while the news is on, for instance, or something like that. Turning off the distractions and having some type of face to face and eye contact is probably what seems to be the best way for understanding. But in different circumstances, things can be different. So let me just tell you what's out here so far. The first card out was the integration number 13, death and rebirth, and coherence. So coherence is all about resonance and being able to strike a chord, an energetic chord, a frequency with another individual that creates mutual buy-in or mutual receptivity, where the individuals are taking in more than just your words, maybe body language, context, and maybe like your mannerisms, the way that you're speaking fast or slow. And sometimes punctuation can come through when it's text, changing the placemaker of a punctuation mark can change the message dramatically. And so there's all types of ways we're aware of that we can miscommunicate or be misunderstood, or feel that although we have said something multiple different ways, that we're still not feeling that the thought has truly been brought forth from the depths of our inner resonance and displayed and laid out with like our tables and charts and our maps and whatever else. There's something here that you're wanting to really drive home, or it's, as we said, an overall theme that you're looking to shift the way that you communicate with other individuals. So let's say, to create a personality, like if you're going to go into business or into politics, or if you're going to start a PTA group on the side, then you might adapt and adopt different social cues and roles. And for instance, if you're going to be a politician, you might need to get your suit out. If you're going to be PTA, you might want to do something else with your time, appear to be the perfect parent. But there's a shift here with understanding, as far as, and don't get me wrong, we're not talking about just surface level. I think that what we're doing is we're driving it further into our depths and pulling it back out. It's almost like turning the self inside out to actually convey the message that we're trying to make. So the clarifier for coherence is the shifting card. So shifting understanding in an important situation or for your overall life satisfaction. So the three clarifiers are conception, communication, and sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is all about the creative sense of belonging and self-worth and self-love, and it's the emotional waters. Communication, more of the throat chakra. Conception can be related to both of those because it has to do with our ability to understand orders, like we talked about with the general and the officers here, to perhaps manage our own time, our own self-worth, our own busy schedule, and to balance ourselves so that we can be in the correct wavelength and clear channels for what's coming to us, not too inundated with programming and algorithms and other things of other people's expectations and so on, or the social mask. So shifting our understanding of why there's been some type of a boundary or that's not the word I'm looking for, some type of interruption in understanding here. And so clarifying conception, we have recognition. So we're recognizing the seeds that we're sowing as we communicate, through our nonverbals, verbals, and so on that we've already talked about. And then there's something about the voice in general, like perhaps for some of us, one reason or another, we may have to develop our voice in this here and now because of previous situations that have felt disempowering, that took our choice or our voice away from us. So perhaps this is something coming through with the need to feel like you are worthy of being heard and being listened to, worthy of respect, that what you say matters, that people care what you have to say, what you have to contribute. You add a lot, no matter who you are, how old, how young, how educated, or so on. What you have to say matters. And we can gift this to other individuals by recognizing them. We sow seeds of compassion and connectivity, and like the third eye stare that I talk about sometimes. It's like, I see you. Spirit sees you through me. I see the inner you that wants to come through. And you are worthy of me communicating with you. Like the homeless guy in the street, the individual that I don't know, like there's various handicaps that, for instance, in a store you see somebody in a wheelchair and there's something on the top shelf. you don't need to wait for that person to feel ashamed or anything. If you're standing right there, not making it a big deal, just be like, hey, how's it going? Can I help you grab that? You know, thank you. Thank you. So seeing other individuals and being in tuned is one of the byproducts of being an empath. So then we have worthy is like you are worthy of speaking up. People want your assistance and your input. Um, yeah, if you're in an organization, speaking up about some of the values that you hold, whether you want to become an officer in an institution, sit on a board or something else, putting your hat in the ring, even for a friendship or something. Say you pass the same guy in the supermarket line um, every Wednesday night at such and such. And it's like, hey, I've seen you here before. We must be on the same schedule, whatever. It's not about, sometimes humans get so reduced into the um, objectified root chakra issues that they think that everything has to become sexual energy when it's somebody that so broadly fits into the category. Like if you're attracted to men and it's a man, or if you're attracted to women and it's a woman, and then you approach that individual, all of a sudden there's an additional caveat of tension for some people where it's like, well, I can't speak to that individual. Well, we sure need to. I think that we deny ourselves proper opportunity when we see only the surface level of something. And so, some way here, like if you feel like, for instance, your block in communication and understanding is perhaps with a dating anomaly, like I don't know how to approach people or something. Some of these issues may come to the fore for you, but I'm going to talk probably more so about it in a general sense, self-development and career and calling and purpose development, because I think that they're all kind of interwoven. The second line here starts out with delight, number 19. It's talking about that beautiful feeling of being open, playful, in flow state. Delighted is like the light, giggle, feeling uplifted, bubbly, not heavy and obligated and burdened, but feeling hope, inspiration, positivity coming through. It supports our capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. So here it's kind of hitting me in the sacral chakra suddenly, talking about the types of things that we bring to the attention of others and how we describe them, as far as, are we assuming the worst? Are we always talking about, like, for instance, for me, I can sometimes talk on this broadcast a little bit more about what needs to change instead of what we're doing right. I think that's useful and it has its place. But people honestly often know what needs to change. And so providing maybe some upliftment, support, some pathways for change, things and examples and metaphors that have helped me or us to move beyond that can be part of that for others. And not focusing too much on the pain of the process, but on the resulting catharsis of healing. And it's like, yeah, it really sucked, but what I wanted, what I wish that I could have done earlier was tap into the joy of the becoming, not the fear of releasing. And so this is quite a good time where we can kind of move beyond that. I'm not sure I showed you, the sacral chakra is clarified by this resurfacing sacral issue, where it's perhaps like the nonverbal vibrational energy, perhaps having to do with our sense of belonging, our sense of alienation, separation. Separation energy is literally duality. So many of us have communication blocks coming up around our ability to feel that niche, to feel the belonging and the identifying with a society that seems so homogenous, but we're so unique. Everybody's unique, but people are too busy othering and being surface level. So we're getting below the surface area in something and communicating on the deeper level. We're deepening and creating more intimacy, as in the into me I see. And when I see into me, I can't help but see into you because I've seen beyond my shame and guilt and repression. And now I see where I am inspired and where I can let myself off the hook. I can feel delight instead of shame. Like, yeah, I went through this bad job once and I did this and this, which I could have done much differently, but I learned something with that. And yeah, the boss was a real pain in the neck, but they also um, were part of this situation. Their hands might have been tied by this, and they might have been misunderstanding with this, and there's all these factors. And so instead of ruminating on what the negatives were, it's like, yep, that happened, and now I'm not here. Now I'm here. I've moved beyond that. So not letting the past define us, but actually letting hope and inspiration guide us forward, the guiding light, delight, delight at the end of the tunnel. So, yeah. So, clarifying delight, we have rejuvenation, which to me looks like that surfacing card in general. So, resurfacing and rejuvenation of feeling more optimism instead of feeling the heaviness and the weight of whatever has been going on. Perhaps a change that you've needed to bring into your life, or a shift in your own awareness, or a recognition and awareness of your own subconscious patterns that are influencing others' ability to perceive you for whatever beauty that you're needing to express. They've been seeing part of your shadow, or you've been engaged in shadow walking, shadow boxing, and integration of your process for long enough. And I think that there's a resurgence of the light, resurgence of hope, and coming back into your personal empowerment. So the spread here, the three cards coming out for delight here, we have dynamic coming through, clarified by celestial, which is my convergence card. So that's like the outgoing and the incoming. This is like all things coming into the center and being synthesized and then broadcast out into this beautiful dynamic, where now if we utilize our delight, that's when we become delight and dynamic together are charisma. And charisma with celestial is like this convergence of everything that we are. Instead of feeling like we are not this, not that, we are the I am. This is the card for me of the I am in a lot of ways, because it talks about the convergence of everything. Past, present, future lives, timelines, potentialities, multiversal awareness, and the cosmic and celestial and star-born energies and perhaps entities having influence and communication with this realm, our our godlike essence as that seed that is planted here in this earth, kind of getting that imagery from Guardians of the Galaxy with Quill's dad again, where he plants those seeds of the celestial. Um, Anyways, that's another complete story, but I'm getting a big wash over the crown. This is a nice activation here. If you're able to take it in, I hope that you can get something powerful out of this. The dynamic is shifting. The more of us that we claim and that we become aware of, the more power we are collecting. And that's like the magnetism. We're drawing a crowd, we're drawing magnetizing experiences, information codes, light codes, and all of this is this barrage of information that we need to integrate and rest and repair and renew and rejuvenate the self to hold greater capacity for the light quotients that are coming in. And so that's releasing and purging anything that is not of that process now. Not to say it wasn't useful. The second card here, we have universal love clarified by gifted, So you're gifted by your own fearless, flawless, I'm hearing, connection to the light, to the I am, to the all that is. You perhaps have had a huge connection to your own inner purity and your own ability to hold the light within your body. And so you are a very happy and joyous, loving soul. And perhaps you felt that you needed to hide this because of feeling vulnerable or misunderstood or taken advantage of, exploited. All of these things can happen as lessons so that when everything comes in, that we can push back and have an equal exchange and flow state of that dynamic inputs and outputs. It's like we can't just keep on taking it all in without exchanging with the environment, right? And we need to really choose and discern which things are restorative to our inner light and which things we need to push away from in our own experience. So you're able to make space for this universal love, and you're able to then utilize your gifts to bless others with your charisma and with your ability to bring your full self online and reclaim your full power. And then the third card, you would not believe it. This has happened before, though. The empowerment card is clarified with the power card. So definitely talking about the trans the transfer of power into empowerment is the difference of feeling that there are power and control dynamics going around us, weighing us down, versus our ability to choose to be empowered enough to delegate, to release, to push back, and to say, no, I'm not going to be exploited this time. And if you feel you're being gaslit or something else, some people immediately start to question their reality. Other people immediately start to question the projector and say, why would you even say that? And to challenge that. Other people can handle it differently, but I see a lot of people, the bulk of people, are going to just get away from that energy. But then that creates seeds of doubt. So we're asked here to be able to do that clean sweep on a more regular basis to activate our more creative empowerment here. We're recognizing our power to shift and change ourselves, the messages that we are buying into on the daily basis, and where we're giving our attention. And so, as we come into our full empowerment, coming fully online with ourselves and reclaiming any type of fragmented, shamed, or disowned soul parts. And we're bringing that all online and saying that, yes, I may be this, and yes, I may have temporarily gone through different things that weren't my best image. I'm ready to take all of I am in stride. That's not what I meant to say, but I guess it is what I meant to say. All that I am, all of the I am presence, and walk in my own inner authority, wisdom, and be a true leader in my own life to author my reality. See, author, yes, any I statements that we make become our narrative. Clarifying authority on that third line, we have the return of spirit, the namesake of that deck. And so return of spirit is, again, like the rejuvenation of the delight, the return of the light is really grasping our confidence and charisma and being able to witness as we act a little bit different, as we sample our own personal self-expression in new and unprecedented ways for ourselves, then we come out of any faulty sense of self or any roles that have worn us, instead of us being able to utilize a role that we play or an archetypal energy for something healing. It's been using us in the process like an algorithm, like a program, and so this authority, earlier I was saying that I felt that the Take Flight card from the Return of Spirit deck was in my mind's eye with the Authority card, and here it comes out quite nearly because I wish I had it here. I wonder if I can split to it. Integrity, change of mind, commitment, feline, vibrational. One more. Take flight. There it is with love. So take flight with union and mediumship. Look at the similarity between these two cards. And so when I see it, knowing my deck, I see one and I see the other. And so this is a confirmation for me that there's this shift of authority, and it came through in the previous readings here, where there's this resurgence of spirit. And I do believe that many different world geographical regions and cultures and governments are going to see women's rights and women leadership coming online more so. And even the masculines that are out there that are going to be working with these incoming energies and are in the flow with what their divinity is speaking to them to do. I think that the big surgence is going to be to respect and honor the sovereignty of the feminine, which is within all of us, which regards our ability to be completely and fully and unapologetically unique and individual and have our own path, and to be free, and to at least be free within this confine. I mean, this is our skin suit. I mean, absolutely. It's like I mean, I won't go off on my tangent. So I was already feeling that the feminine was coming through with authority in the previous readings, uploading now. And I do believe that I said as much. You can check that out. But it comes out with the description line. It explodes into divine feminine, which is here clarified interestingly with music. In this moment, divine feminine with music is like the soul song. And that's why the feminine is within all of us. It is that unique seed. No seed, no two seeds except twins, identical twins, have an identical genetic makeup. We know this. But even within twins, you will absolutely find anomalies. They're not identical. They have personal self-expression. And amongst each other, there's different trends for different sets, because that's what we're talking about, versatility and differences. But within the twin group, you will often see the two individuals will want to wear their hair just a little different, because I'm sure that sometimes there gets to be a little bit too much of the everybody saying, oh, you guys, I can't tell you apart, and not identifying you as a unique individual. It's like they don't even see you except for your face. And so, yeah, I think that that's what we're kind of getting to the bottom of, is the superficial, misinformed root chakra that is rampant in this time and space on earth. And the divine feminine within all of us is asking us to really contemplate our center. And do we feel like somebody else should tell us what we need to do? Like, can you get a piercing? Can you wear a set of clothes? Can you this or that? I'm not trying to speak for any particular right now, but in general, generally speaking, the more rules and restrictions that we impose only creates more fighting and more separation and more power and control, which is externalized locus of control for everybody. And it's not where our blessings lie. We need to reconnect to our center. It looks like we're about to get rained on, doesn't it? I'll finish up these couple of cards and we'll pack it in. There's the wind. Woo! So coming next, we have prosperity with divinity. So this to me harkens back to what we're talking about with this soul song. It's like our divinity at our center is our divine prosperity. It's our divine gift of self-worth to be a voice, a vibrational, resonant emanation of whatever our process has been evidenced as. And this is the tantric journey between masculine and feminine, between the star-born identity, the celestial convergence with the star seed here on earth. The mother earth and the father sky are converging here to inform us of our true empowerment journey, to embrace below the surface, to see beyond the surface level of what our eyes can perceive and what we hear, and to feel that even in this moment, this rising storm is joining us in this moment in saying that it's evidence of shaking the ethers and bringing it forward and conjuring. So under the deck, we have discernment. We've got passion and solar plexus here. And behind discernment, we have integration and realization. So understanding what the true mission is here in this time and space. And it's to be everything, to be the I am. And that's what it's all about. Oh, I'm shaking. Yeah, I feel the power coming through. And under the deck, after a few different times of shuffling, remain sexuality. So this is about not objectifying the physicality and the earth and utilizing and spending Earth's resources. Earth isn't here to serve our entitlement. Earth is here to support, to sustain. And just like we were talking in some of the early broadcasts, it's like we're exchanging at all times with our environment. I would go so far as to suggest that not only are we equal to all of our brothers and sisters and neighbors, but also we're equal to animals. We are equal to the soil, to the earthworm, to the gemstones, to the trees. We don't see more. How often do people talk about the hierarchical viewpoint of, oh, well, in my country, a lot of people talk about, oh, well, this team, this group being superior to the next. Oh, America, the great, the beautiful. And I don't mean to say that we're not great and beautiful. I am not saying that at all. But it's seeing the self as above someone else feels appealing to the ego, not to the spirit. The spirit wants us to embrace each other. It wants to say that I don't need to separate from you. I am. I am you. I need to create the personal identity to cleave from the group, but I also need to return to the group. And that is the sacred sexuality. That is the sacred tantric journey, the hieros gamos of the cosmic identity and the earthly identity coming fully, powerfully online in this moment to create a powerful change in consciousness. So we are the ones we've been waiting for. And I hope you enjoyed that message and got a message of value for you.